Welcome to Poker Market, making poker more efficient.
Hi guys, this is Weasel for PokerMarket.com. This is the final part of the 12k grind on stars. So we played about 11k hands so far. We have 1k hands to go. And then we'll review our win rate and result for the entire sample. Alright, pocket 3 is just going to overcall here. That's a nice flop for obvious reasons. Don't think we need to be too worried about being behind, although we can be behind by turn and river. It usually makes sense to lead this hand. It doesn't matter too much if everyone folds. I think sometimes people get a bit upset when everyone folds in those spots and they wish they'd maybe not led, but just because everyone folds doesn't mean that leading isn't the highest EV option. We just turn the 7-6 suited into a bluff against a 3x MP open. Nines are going to overcall. We don't hit a set this time, so it's going to give up. Small blind decides to lead. He probably has something. He probably has at least an ace usually. Maybe a good draw, but mostly an ace. Can't fold to a king to a min raise on table 4. Would be way too tight. If he checks, we'll take stab. If he c-bets, we'll give up because we don't really have equity. Interesting flop on table 1. So we flop the flush draw and the straight. We bet quite big because we have a straight. Interesting, we probably don't want to make the flush here. That's ironically probably a bad card for us. We've hardly made any flushes, and then the one time we hit, it's not the flush we want to see. It's funny that actually making a flush and wishing you didn't, because basically the straight we had was the nuts, whereas the flush we made on the turn was not the nuts anymore, and this guy could have better flush draws in his range, so it wasn't a good turn card for us actually. It was still reasonable. I mean, we still have a flush, but the relative strength of our hand goes down on that turn card, so that's why when I saw the flop I said it was an interesting spot. Okay, we pick up the... I think this is one of the few exceptions where I'm going to let this guy free roll a river because there's not so much I'm scared about and I don't really want to get check raised. Now I'll obviously value bet. I guess we don't want to bet too big. It's just really hard for him to call actually. It's a good bluff spot for that reason. Actually, I should have even raised here. This was misplayed, the ace-10. I was worried about my time bank. Jack is now a bad card, so things are not as good for us now. I think I will still raise, though. I think given the effective stack, we're just committed here, and that's a good river at least. Although Queen 9 gets there, I suppose. Yeah, this hand was misplayed. Flop should have been raised. I guess it's like a time bank thing. So, I mean, okay, we won, but the hand went wrong, and we weren't able to get the stacks in as a result, so you know, it might end up being a pretty sizable leak, actually, or mistake. I could have tried to just get the money in anyway, but it would have been too much of an overbet, I think, on the river. So nothing about that hand was ideal, the way it was played. We won a few dollars at least, so shouldn't complain too much, but it's not really about the outcome of the hand, obviously. Or hopefully most of us realize that by now. It's not about the outcome of the hand at all, it's about making the decision which has the highest EV. And we didn't do that in this case. I bet quite small in table 1 because the hand is not vulnerable as such. And we also have the backdoor clubs, which is nice. 10s can easily be good in table 3, but he will occasionally have a weak queen if he's playing like this. Table 1 we have to bet smallish with our king-jack. With this turn sizing we might even be able to value bet the river if he doesn't raise. If he has a set he'll usually raise now, because he might slow play 7s on King 7-3 Rainbow, but he's not going to slow play on this turn card, so save ourselves a little bit of money, and I highly doubt he's bluff raising that frequently. So Okay, it may look like we've lost the pot. Again, it's not about winning or losing. It's about EV, and I think we've saved ourselves a bunch of chips there. I don't feel super great about the turn situation on table 3. I just delayed because I was delayed at these limits, but I don't think the EV is going to be super high. I actually think he probably called with a worse hand, unless he specifically had a better ace high. That's the only thing that we... Yeah, he had a better ace high. Okay, so we didn't call with worse. I guess we should be firing our ace-x on the river potentially though, so we may still win. I don't think the EV is going to be super high in that situation though. Okay, we can't defend 10-3, it's too weak. Ace-3, this is a pretty good flop for us actually. We definitely want to be c-betting. Big blind versus small blind 3x. If I remember correctly, I don't actually have to defend these hands. I just checked, I did remember correctly. If you defend the suited queen against a 3x, you're defending too wide. It's not a bad flop for us. With the backdoor diamonds, we have the straight draw as well. So we need to bet. It's 240 here. Just making sure we set up stacks correctly for the river. I think we'll have a small overbet with that sizing, but I don't want to bet too much bigger on the turn actually. So we'll have just over a pot size bet left, but as long as it's roughly a pot size bet, that's fine.